and I hate him.
Why?
Because he's good looking, tall, smart. No, but he was really funny on that. And then my favorite part of that on the Jimmy Kimmel was when Jimmy Kimmel gave him their prize was that bicycle built for $3.
Oh my god!
And $15 gift cards.
And did you see Robert Downey Jr. just double over in laughter when he heard the Applebee's?
Yeah,
he was like, "That's great."
He goes, "That's more than what I get paid for these movies."
He gets paid a lot, don't you think?
They all get paid very, very well.
All of them. That's why they have big smiles, and it seem like they generally like each other.
Yeah,
too.
they do. I think they do. I mean, I wouldn't care if I knew that Mike was my bread and butter, and in order he's playing a homosexual in a movie, which is not far from what he does. I'd be like, hey, I'm glad you're gay.
I appreciate your acceptance of me.
Yeah, it's all right.
Are you going to put a lot of fart noises behind me in this show?
So last week...
Our apologies for that.
So how are you feeling? Are you feeling better than you were last week?
Yeah, way better. I think it's because I didn't have quite the mixture of food. Today, I stuck to just quiche. It was good. And are you guys going to make... you were making fun of my baldness with the magnet head guy over and over. That was crazy.
Oh, and what his name was, oh my God, I found it. It was called something. I forgot now.
With the bushy eyebrows.
Yeah. Something. I'll figure out the name.
Anyway, fun times.
All right, so the next topic, Anna Maria, did you want to hit this one? The new the new show that's coming on Netflix?
Jessica Jones show. It's the wife of Luke Cage, which a lot more people know about, or also known as Power Woman. So she's getting on Netflix, and I'm shocked about it.
Why?
I mean, she's really big, in like the Civil War. She's a repetitive role in there, but she's not one of the big. I would figure like Luke Cage would have his show first versus her. But you know what? I think they're trying to bring the women audience over, right? It's a more sophisticated way versus a Smallville, right? Making a soap opera version of like Superman. So yeah, so she's on there, but
So why don't you think it's going to be a big hit?
I didn't say that. I said I was surprised. I'm just not really happy of the actress, but I'm just looking at it visually.
And
right?
we're all looking at the picture right now. I'm going to put this up there.
So tell them who's going to be the actress.
It's the chick from, she was on 2.5 Men. She was married to Charlie, not Charlie Sheen, but the other guy.
Kristen Ritter?
No, the other guy. Isn't that the girl who was on 2.5 Men?
She was in Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 and in Breaking Bad.
Okay, so she's married to Luke Cage.
Yes, Jessica Jones. So basically, when she was little, there was this crazy car accident, and all her family died, and then she had all this radiation from these chemicals affect her body. So in the orphanage, she all of a sudden got these super strength, similar to Luke Cage, except Luke Cage's skin is invincible. And
that's his only power. He has invincibility, right?
Yeah, but he knows how to fight and get down to business. But she has super strength, and then her and Luke Cage get together. They actually have a child. And there's a question like, okay, is this going to be a mutant child? Is they're going to have powers? So yeah, so she's one of the good guys.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens with that. I've never been a fan of Luke Cage. I just remember him from the 70s. That's all I remember. Always with the band around his head.
Bandana.
The bandana. That's always made me think of.
Or headband, excuse me.
Every time I think of Luke Cage, do you know who he is, right?
No.
Well, he's Luke Cage.
Okay.
I love this. We are not going to speak Doctor Who today. We're going to keep Mike in the dark.
Actually, David Tennant is in this show and, with Kristen Ritter, right? She's like the villain, the purple man.
He's a bad guy. You know what? It doesn't say too much. It's just going to be on Netflix, which Netflix, round of applause. For Daredevil.
I would clap, but I'm holding this microphone.
Daredevil. And we're going to...
excuses.
We were going to talk about Daredevil, but we got an email, and then we'll dive more into Daredevil in a little bit. And we're going to dive into comic books tonight a little more. Let's do one more topic that's out. Anthony Mackie. Anna Maria's in love with him. Everybody knows who Anthony Mackie is.
Falcon!
Yeah, he's the Falcon.
No, look at that. He's beautiful.
We're looking at a picture of him.
And he's beautiful.
I liked that movie he was in, the Winter Soldier. He did such a good job.
Well, there's a recent interview, and he was talking about Captain America Civil War, and he says it's less of an Avengers movie, and it's more about Captain America, diving into more about him. So
Way to go.
Yeah, I think it's more a lot about his principles and ideas and him getting ready to kind of mainstream in the 21st century, dealing with all these different issues.
What's amazing is, and then we're going to go into interview next because I want to get this interview in, and then we're going to talk about an email, and Anna Maria's going to get about it, but the Civil War is coming back up again. When we watched a Daredevil, there was an Easter egg in it, and it's all over the news, and we saw it. There was a poster behind the Daredevil, and it said right behind him, it said, what did it exactly say on it? It said, you can report, you don't have to hide yourself reporting crimes or solving crimes.
Yeah, you can report crimes anonymously.
Yeah, you don't have to hide yourself behind a mask or something like that.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Civil War, and again, if everybody knows what's going on with the Civil War, the government's going to have, you have to register that you're a superhero. So you're actually letting yourself known. And I would never want that because probably they'd kill my family, anybody that wants to get back at me. So it's not actually a smart thing to do. All right, let's get into a quick interview. Is that okay, guys?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, I had an opportunity to talk to FREDDY RODRIGUEZ. And let's talk with him real fast. Let's go into an interview, and we'll come right back.
Hello. Do you hear me? Mind if I give a listen? Sure. Yes, hello.
Oh, Freddie, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Dude, it's a big honor for me. I'm like a kid in a candy store when I heard about you. You know what I mean? No, and I'm not just trying to throw wool over your eyes. I'm being serious. You have done movies that are incredible. So let me take a look at this. It was on my CD. It was one of my CDs, but you were in this movie called Grindhouse. Wow, man.
That's right.
You were freaking awesome in that, dude.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're also in Planet Terror, Bottle Shock. The list goes on and on and on and on. And first, I know NBC wants to push you so hard for you, and I know you're amazing at The Night Shift. You play Michael Ragosa, right? In Night Shift. What's your big thing that you're doing this week?
Well, this week, just to kind of recap, in the beginning of season 2, we saw Michael Ragosa. In season 1, he was the hospital administrator, and then towards the end of season 1, we discovered that he had a tumor in the back of his eye. And in the beginning of season 2, he has surgery. He gets the tumor removed, but he comes close to death, and he cheats death, and realizes that he doesn't want to be the hospital administrator anymore. So he quits, and decides to pursue what he always wanted to do, and that's become a doctor. But in order to do that, he had to sort of demote himself and becomes a physician's assistant. And when he does that, it affects everything. It affects the dynamic at home. It affects his economic situation. And so tonight's episode is we get to meet we met his daughter a couple of episodes ago. And in this episode, his daughter was supposed to have a sweet 16. And because he's chosen a new path in life, it's affected his economic situation, and he can't afford the sweet 16. And so we see what happens with that, and how it all finally comes together at the end.
Now, so do you like doing this? I noticed this. You do the Night Shift, and the season premiere's coming up tonight. But did you like doing this compared to movies and stuff like that? And I know. Think of it as a regular actor. I'm like, hey, it's a regular gig. But do you enjoy this more, or do you like doing the action movies?
Movies have always been my first love. I started I did my first movie in '94. And that's all I did, really, until, the only other show I was really a regular on was 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
And
that was awesome. I give you kudos to that. That was awesome, too.
Oh, thank you, man, thank you. So it's what I know. It's how I started. It was my first love. But nowadays, I mean, look, I was just watching a commercial the other day, and it was like, The Rock and Jack Black are both on a TV show. I'm like, when would I have ever in a million years thought that The Rock and Jack Black would be doing a TV show, right? But it just goes to show where the industry is now, and where our business is now, and TV is where it's at. And so, as much, and I'm grateful that I came from that era of movies, but this is just what's happening now, and everyone's doing a TV show.
Okay, and then I'm a geek. I'm going to tell you that. All right. I'm a nerd. I am a nerd,
right.
And this is why I'm worshiping you. Okay, right now, very few people know this, and I'm gonna let it loose right now. Ultimate Spiderman, 2099. You were the voice of Spider-Man. Am I right?
I was, yeah.
Wow!
Yeah, Spider-Man.
People don't realize in my studio I've got cartoon cells all over the place. That was probably not an animated cell, but it was probably digital. But how do you what's up with the voice? I mean, do you change your voices, or are you using the voices you use right now? Because I'm going to give a list of other stuff you did in a few seconds. Do you change your voice?
Yeah, no. Usually I try to change it. It all depends on the job, you know, and what they want. But doing Spider-Man was, I mean, come on, it's Spider-Man. It's the freaking coolest thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
And
do you have kids? Are you married?
Yeah.
What do your kids think about that? Do they go, "Wow, is that cool?" Or like, eh?
Yeah, man. They think it's incredible. I mean, and really, that's why I started to do it, was because it was for them, and so they can get a kick out of watching cartoons and hearing their dad on it. But then it just snowballed from there. It you know, I started to do it more, and you know, even working on Spider-Man, for example, they get to work with Marvel, which is what an incredible company to work for. And I just did an episode of Family Guy.
I know.
It's over there. Who did those guys? I mean,
how was that? You were Handy Manny? Was that a spinoff on that? Am I right?
No, I played Handy Manny's brother, and Wilmer Valderrama plays Handy Manny.
Oh.
And I've known Wilmer, 15 years.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey, come down and come play my brother," and which was a really cool experience to be a part of.
And then you were in Teen Titans Go, which is still on to this day, correct? Is it still on? I always see it running.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's still on.
And then you were on Young Justice, a show that they should have never... These are all voices, let everybody know. These are the voices. You were on Young Justice, a show that should have never been freaking canceled. I loved it. It was on... that. You get so much stuff under your belt you did, man. And is it your agent, or are you just that damn good?
It just happens. There's no rhyme or reason behind it. It just kind of comes my way, and if I'm available, I do it. And I've just been really fortunate, man. I've gotten to work with some great people.
Yeah, you have. So, looking at all this, and look, I'm going the superhero route, and my bosses always told me not to do this. Since you're doing, are you going to be in any movies playing a superhero or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I was, I played an action hero in Planet Terror, which is kind of cool to be an action hero and star in one of Robert Rodriguez's and Quentin Tarantino's movies. I mean, that was pretty incredible to do.
Were they just pumping you? How were they to work with? I mean, were they like, oh, do this, really into you? Because I know they're kind of like...
No, man, they're just geniuses, and you can see it from the first 5 minutes that you're with these guys.
Yeah.
I would have paid just to be a fly on the wall and get to see these guys work together. Really, I mean, it was amazing.
So, do you have anything coming up that's action series like that, or is it just focus on the night shift right now?
Well, right now, I try to put a movie out every year, but man, the show has been so consuming.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I just started a production company called Top Rebel Productions, and have really been working on building that company. And we just did a mini feature, I call it, which is like a long short film called Mediation, and it played all the great film festivals here. Now it's in India. It's playing in India and Dominican Republic and worldwide now. And so just been concentrating on building that company as well.
Okay, we'll get that movie up. Can we do that? Yeah, we're going to get it up and put it on our website and get it all on social media for you to see what everybody's talking about. What's your handle so everybody can follow you? Because I'm going to be following you to see what the hell you're doing next. What is it?
Thank you, man. It's my name, at Freddy Rodriguez, but without the O. RDRIGUEZ.
Oh, very, very cool. And remember, we've got I'm Fonseca. We've got Rodriguez here. We got to stick together. The Latinos.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, night shift tonight. Great episode. Everybody check it out.
You will. Thank you so much for joining us. Anytime you want to come back on, we will do whatever we can for you. Thank you so much for joining me today, man. And good luck with everything. And I will be tweeting you and following you. You're going to go, God, this guy's a nerd.
No, all good. Thank you for having me.
Now, I just heard your show. Now that's entertainment.
So he's in a lot of voiceovers, a lot of acting. Plus, he's on NBC right now, which is I really like. And then he said again, it was funny. We were just talking to Rodriguez. He called me on for the show. Then he called me the next day, and I'm like, "Hello," and he goes, "Hey, man, are you doing your show again? I want to come back on." And I was like, "No, I I was dropping a deuce. I really said that.
And
it was
then he said,
he goes, really? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not working right now. And he goes, oh, okay, I'll call you later.
does he need some